For the sake of my son, put down your sword.
I will not.
You are a fool.
In 1543, 3 Portuguese traders reached Japan, the first Europeans to ever set foot on its shore. They were, of course, from the west, but since they arrived at the southern port from across southern seas, they were regarded as southern barbarians. In their wares were silk, porcelain, but most importantly, Portuguese guns, for Japan was in the midst of a brutal civil war, and a weapon like this could turn the tide. So Japanese smiths quickly reverse-engineered the weaponry, and renewed warfare swept throughout the country. In response, many smiths started to acquire and experiment with European plate as well. As a result, samurai armor became stiffer but bullet-resistant, a compromise with Western plate, which was impenetrable but cumbersome.
Your sword cannot pierce my armor. Why do you not understand?
The armored knight and his son, Robert, likely stepped ashore during this turbulent time, making a name for themselves by selling bright red firecrackers. Their deafening sound could be used to terrify beasts and unseat horsemen, which was a popular tool that Robert and his father quickly turned into local currency. However, the money that they raised was not their goal. It was simply a means to an end, for the knight's son, Robert, was very sick, and his father needed to raise funds for their travels. Across the sea, he'd heard tales of the Undying in the mountains, and as soon as he sold off their wares, they headed for Mount Congo. Whatever the sickness was that his son had, it was clearly worth risking everything for, as they were traveling deep into warring states territory, and they would be lucky to survive.
Strike me all you like. I am unbreakable. My son will receive the waters.
What he found must have been beyond his wildest imagination. Sempo Temple, a powerful institution of warrior monks who would have just begun to close their doors to the outside around this time. They believed they could attain eternal life by experimenting with the legendary waters that flowed through the lands of the Ashina. This legend is so similar to that of the Fountain of Youth, something that the armored knight no doubt believed could restore Robert to good health.
Those of the Senpo Temple have strayed from Buddha's teachings. They have abandoned their faith, seduced by a search for immortality.
To the monks, however, such a search for immortality lay perfectly in line with their own beliefs. The ultimate goal of the Buddha, after all, is liberation from samsara, the cycle of rebirth. And if these men could achieve eternal life, then they too may achieve enlightenment just like the Buddha once did. And the secret, they believed, lay in the birth of a divine child. So they cut ties with the Ashina, shut their doors, and set to work.
The gates to that temple are closed now, though. Who knows what those degenerates are doing shut away up there in the mountains?
First, they needed children. Hundreds of children. Children who would be sacrificed for the monks' greater good. This, of course, would bring incredible negative karma in the next life. But what threat could negative karma pose to the Undying? So they grimly pressed ahead, sacrificing children, but also laying tributes for their departed souls. Small statues, Mibu balloons, and pinwheels that blow gently in the wind.
The spinning red and white flowers. Only one pure white flower. The pure white flower I cannot find.
When the armored knight arrived, the monks probably couldn't believe their luck. Here was a man not only willing to put his child into their care, but he was also willing to defend their home. He was a foreigner too, one who likely wouldn't guess at the meaning of the little statues and pinwheels before the bridge. So they likely offered him a deal. Repel 1,000 blades, and we will grant your child the blessing of rejuvenation. Of course, the monks probably did try to grant the blessing of rejuvenation. They might not have lied to him completely, but it is unlikely that the armored knight ever knew the true meaning of the little statues, of the pinwheels as well. Nor is it likely that he discovered the bound bodies hurled off the cliff behind him. He would never have a chance to, for he would go on to join them. Not at the hands of the monks, but by the boot of a shinobi who needed to pass. He died thinking he'd failed his son. But what he would never know was that a child of the rejuvenating waters had been successfully created long ago, and it could not have been Robert, for of all the pinwheels, there is only one pure white flower, the divine child of the rejuvenating waters. If you watched this video the week that it came out, then the next episode is actually already out, and you can watch it right now. It's just over on Patreon. I have a bunch of reward tiers over there, but I think that giving early access is probably my favorite one because it allows me to sort of demo my videos to a small, dedicated audience, and then also reward those people for helping to keep the channel going. So if you love From Software's games, go and check it out, but of course, whether you're a patron or not, you'll get to see the video very soon, and thank you for watching.